Hello and welcome. Let's try another Shadowbringers dungeon with the trust system. Still leveling my White Mage even. Currently level 77, so let's do Qitana Ravel 75. I was looking to do the 77 dungeon, but unfortunately my trust isn't leveled enough, so I can only do 75 as a healer. So let's go for it. So just to recap, I have two classes left to get to level 80 and then I'm done, leveling wise. White Mage and Astrologian. So White Mage is currently 77 and Astrologian 71 I think. Can I remember this one again? I probably haven't been here since the last trust run. Was that as a healer or as a tank? I can't remember. I don't want to be there. Let's be there. I'm pushing all the wrong buttons. Did I just... It doesn't matter. I think I pushed heal. I'm just so used to playing other classes where if you see a proc, you use it. Unfortunately on this one a heal... Actually a heal wouldn't proc, would it? This one wouldn't, this one will, but only after I use that one. I am a healer, so let's heal someone, maybe. Is there line of sight for healing? No, there isn't. Come on, people. Why are you not dodging anything? This is not very good for you. Now, the other day, I did work out the difference between something and something, and I forgot it already. Heals target and near target. That just heals near me. Okay, what's happening there? Too busy reading the tooltips. I should pay attention, shouldn't I? So just to recap, that one's near me, and the other one is near whoever I'm targeting. I did confuse myself a bit because this is the panic button. As in, if I need to heal someone fast, that's the button I should press. But I have it mapped on the Astrologian to this button, the equivalent skill. It might not be the same skill, but it's similar in effect, and that does confuse me a little bit. If I'm playing one class at a time, of course you get used to it. But I was trying to level all the healers. Well, I say all the healers. 2 healers at about the same time. So I tried to put the same functional skill on the same button. So for example, on my DPS, this is the AoE, this is the dot, and this is the regular attack. That doesn't mean there's no differences as well between the different classes, because I don't know which round it is. Right, so this one's not targeted and it just does damage around me, so I have to stand in the middle of everything, whereas on the Astrologian it's targeted and it does damage around the target. So there's little differences like that as well, just to be aware of. Although, to be realistic, once I get these classes to 80 I probably won't touch them again until whatever the next expansion is called comes out, and then I have to get them all to level 90. Now, if it wasn't for this little virus thing going around, the next expansion would be released about summer. But with delays and things, I don't know if they'll be a little bit later. I really should heal someone. Does he have his own heal? I don't claim to be a good healer. It falls very much under, I'll do it if I have to. So I try not to inflict it on other players who might take the content more seriously than I do, even if it's low level content. For example, I have been in the past doing the level 50 alliance raids as a healer with, let's say, mixed success. If all the DPS and everyone else knows what they're doing, it's not too bad. If they are not so great and they rely on a healer, that's when things start to go a bit sour. But that's about the limit of the content I'll do, you know, shall we say easy content. Did a guild Hess as well, so that's low level content. Not too difficult, just keep an eye open, Actually, it's the same sort of thing again, in a way. If everyone else knows what they're doing, they take very little damage, then I don't have to do much healing, and I can concentrate on DPS. On the very lowest level ones, I don't even necessarily need to heal throughout the whole thing, which is nice. Oh, that boss again. So got to remember to look at the shoulder things for his attack, and the back wall statues for arena AoE, I suppose. I don't know what you call it. And I got to remember I'm a healer. Must heal. I could push buttons like this. What does that do? Does damage and heals. Let's try it after the whatever this attack is. Boom. Oh, I was not looking. I was not looking. That was my fault. So this time he's going to do that half. I wasn't paying attention last time. I said I should look at the statues, I failed to. My fault. I think there's some level of multitasking required for healer, more so than other classes. Like DPS I like because you just do one thing. Right, he's going to turn any second. So I've got to be on this side and avoid the back one, so about there would do, I think. Yeah, DPS don't really tend to have to worry about too much. At worst, just remember to look at mechanics if you're doing a tricky combo or something. It's not too bad. Tank, it's just a DPS with a bit more responsibility, basically. You might have a bit more mechanic to worry about. Tankrid's not bad, he's healing himself. I hardly have to do anything. Does that make me a bad healer, or lazy healer at least? Alright, so got to watch out for the back again. Is he going to turn? Right, so I'm on the safe half of the arena. If he's not turning, I want to be there, and then I'll give everyone a quick top up. Yep, healer, you got mechanics, you got healing, and could you say that's two things? I don't know, it just feels like more. Like, healing is just a bit more attention seeking, let's say, I find, than just DPS. Because with DPS, I suppose, you just have to remember to attack. As in, once you learn your rotation, you just repeat the rotation. There might be some extra things you do on the side, but fundamentally you can just repeat the basic rotation. So Yobi, is it doing anything? Is it even scratching them? Yep, so DPS is kind of like you fight on autopilot, whereas healer you have to be a bit more adaptive to the circumstances. And that's the other thing as well. Generally speaking, as a DPS, if you lose concentration for a moment, the worst that usually happens is you might lose a little DPS. So the boss takes an extra couple of seconds to kill. It's not usually a big deal. With a healer, you have a moment of lack of concentration, someone dies. And then you got the pain of recovering from that. I do wonder actually, you know, in terms of number of people playing each class, which are the most active classes? It's going to be a bit hard to measure. I'm just thinking, how could you even measure it? Because you can't just look at leveling alone, because people like me might just level it for leveling it. And if you count, shall we say, dungeon usage or things like that, it'd be skewed by who's doing what content at what time. Although I suppose you could, going by queues might not be too bad actually, now I think about it. So only for content where you have to queue in as a specific class, that might be a way to measure it. Because I'm just thinking out loud, you got things like Eureka and Boston Front. And in those you can change class during it, so you can't really tell. Open world content, likewise, you can change class at will, so it's hard to quantify who's using what. But for instance content, you have to pick a class and stick with it. Now having said that, I take it back, that's a really stupid idea. I forgot, most instance content has a fixed what do you call it? A fixed formation. Like in this dungeon content, it's one healer, one tank, 2 DPS. So that's a rubbish way. It won't work. The question remains, how could you make it work? Now maybe, actually, with a variation, could it work? The variation would be how many unique players queue for each of the roles. Because more people play, generally speaking anyway, more people play DPS than the other two, healer or tank. Which is why, in part, there's more DPS roles. DPS slots, whatever you want to call it, for parties. So if there are, depending on the ratios of course, if there are more DPS than tanks or healers, to do X number of dungeon runs implies someone might go in as healer more than once doing that content. It has to balance out at the end, but the number of unique people might vary. So tanks may go in multiple times or healers might go in multiple times, whereas DPS only goes in once, for example. I really need some mana. I suppose indirectly, looking at character levels might also work as well. So for example, people would tend to focus on their preferred class. So if you're leveling classes, I mean, people like me may try to level everything. That's fine. But when you're still leveling, some classes will be higher level than other classes, and the chances are the highest level class might be your favourite. And there is a way you could tie break, actually, I'm just thinking, which is if you can look at item level. So even if you have a whole ton of level 80 characters or classes, if you would probably put your best gear, or get your best gear, for the class you want to play the most. So I like playing Bard, so I have the best equipment on my Bard. Apart from the weapon, the Bard shares... all the equipment apart from the weapon is shared with Dancer and Machinist. So they might be close, but I've got the better weapon. Oh, never mind that. I forgot I'm playing healer, and I'm talking about Bard. But the point remains. You would have the best equipment on the class you're playing the most, generally speaking. I mean, there might be some outside cases where maybe you roll for loot and you got something you didn't really want, but you might as well equip it anyway. I probably should do some healing. Trying to remember which boss. This is the one with the pillars. Oh, I don't like this bit. It's the one with the pillars, and then you have to run away from them. If I'm not talking, that's me trying not to do silly things. I suppose that's another measure of how good you are at doing something, which is how much mental capacity do you have left over. In my case, not so much. Is this a good place to stand? I'm not sure, but all the other NPCs are there, so I'll join them. I really need to be more mana efficient, I think. Like, does that use more or less than that one? Number 4. 1500, 1000. Potency 300, potency 550. So that costs more, but it does more healing as well. Proportionately, per MP, that's more potency. So it's like things like that I need to be a bit more aware of. Let's give everyone... I mean, I don't know if a regen is a good MP expenditure. Maybe I should not DPS if I'm low on MP. That's something else I could try, isn't it? And he's dead. Where's the thingy? There it is. Aw. Did I get anything else interesting so far? Tank, so no. Tank, so no. And Archer class, so no. I don't need any of those. Oh, not too far from the end though, although this is still a bit of a slog. Oh. Just trying to get a nice position for a bit of a screenshot. It ain't the best, it'll do. Right, let's holy spam. Boom! Right, let's not holy spam now, because it just kills your MP so fast. Five 5.0 seems so far away now. All the Sinita stuff. I suppose it's not a surprise. It's what, about a year and a half ago? It would have been not summer last year, but summer the year before that. I think I mentioned already that, world situation aside, the next expansion would typically be a summer launch this year. So I don't know what the, if there's going to be much of a delay, or can they catch up somehow? I don't know. I wish they gave me some more healing stuff. I think I've still got some like level 70 stuff. They can be replaced. So I need legs and head, and a weapon might not go astray. I don't know if there is a weapon drop here. Do I have some from last time? 75 is item level 406, so it's not that much of an upgrade from 400 anyway. But every little helps. So Thancred is a gunbreaker. I'm just trying to remember. That wasn't the first tank I level. I think it has a regen skill. Yeah, stop fighting me, please. Because every now and then I see Thancred. I'm not entirely sure. He gets a shield, or does he get a heal, or a bit of both? And I'm not giving him the shield, so where is he getting it from? There's no other healer classes. So no Red Mage, no Summoner. So where is he getting that from if he's not doing it himself? I only remember there is a regen skill on Gunbreaker, but I don't remember there being a shield skill, unless... No, that's... I was going to say, unless it's a level 80 skill, but even if it was, Thancred isn't level 80 in this instance. So that can't be it. Or was I just that bad a Gunbreaker? I never found a skill. Sometimes it happens if I, for example, I might play this game on one of a few systems, and normally when you level up, you get the skill put on an empty space in your shortcuts. But because I'm on different systems, and each system has its own control set, let's call it. It does mean it'll get put on one system, but if I move to another system, that skill won't be present unless I manually add it myself. So it is possible for me to miss a skill that way. I do wish they would synchronise or give better synchronisation for that part at least. Where am I going? That way. It's been a while since I've been here. Which one is that? Dancer weapon. Don't need it. That one. Don't need it. Just give me healer stuff. That's all I want. Go away, Eros. If I remember correctly, this fight isn't too bad. The NPCs do a fair enough job of mechanics. I do need to top up people now and then. Like stuff like this. Oh, I just wasted my heal on Thancred. I thought I was targeting myself. I totally failed on that. See, they know the mechanics coming. They were already in position before I was. Allow you to do what? If I was a good healer, I would learn what's a tank buster, because that one rend seems to want a bit more healing. I don't like it when they do that. I think he can suck you over those. You were. But at least there's a little gap for me to walk past if I wanted to anyway. Bit of mana regen, bit of attack, bit of this, bit of that. Who's got the tether? Graha. Should remember to put the dots up more often, shouldn't I? Alright, do I go to them or do they go to me, or they just run into the middle? Stop doing that, it hurts. And I don't know what the healing range is. Oh, green uses LB. To me, it's always been a bit disappointing. It feels like an LB should do a lot more damage than it actually does. About there, maybe? I don't know. %. Just hurry up and die, please. And we're done. Okay, is that the weapon? It is, and it's better than my current weapon. Success! Let's try it out. Okay, not keen on the design, but it matches the environment, I suppose. Anyway, we're done here. Thank you for watching. See you next time.